What's up, you guys? Welcome to my channel, Paradoxical Joy. I'm your girl Joy, and in today's video it's going to be one of my favorite series on this channel, which is Wine Wednesday. Okay, so you're probably asking, if you've never seen a Wine Wednesday before, what is a Wine Wednesday? Basically, it's Wednesday, it's the middle of the week, we tie, so we're trying to wind down, okay, with some wine, and we're gonna talk our mess. So we drink our wine, we talk our mess. It's self-explanatory. Let's get into it. Today's video, we're gonna be talking about being your own soulmate. What does that look like? How do you do it? All of that tea. But before we even get into that, let's get our handy dandy wine mugs. Okay, so we have our wine mugs. We have our wine. It's a red Moscato. Let's pour it up. Yeah, we just gonna end the bottle, okay? We're finished. So we're gonna get lit. Whew. It's really good. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into this topic. So the other day I was talking with one of my friends, well, it was a few weeks ago, and we were talking about marriage, and I asked her if she wanted to be married, because I'm trying to do this thing where instead of just assuming that people want to do things that are societal norms, I like to ask them. So, do you want to get married? Do you want to have children? Do you want to go to college? Those types of things. So I asked her, do you want to get married? And she was like, yeah. And she started to tell me about like what would her ideal life look like, being married and having children and all those types of things. And then she asked me, she was like, well, I mean, don't you want to get married? And I was like, well, honestly, I don't really know. Like, I'm still young. I'm not really out here searching to be married to somebody. Like, that's just not really my goal. And I was like, and I also don't really know if I want to have kids. Like, I'm saying this in real life, and this is also kind of along the lines of what I said to her, was that for me, I'm living my life how I want to live it and how I feel called to live it. And so if I get married and have children, great. If I don't get married or don't have children, great. My life is still going to be meaningful. It's still going to be all good. And so basically I was telling her that, and I was telling her that I wasn't sure if I wanted kids or wanted to get married. And she was like, she's like, well, what are you going to do? And literally that was so astonishing to me, because she made it seem as though like me not wanting to do those things would, like, it's like, what are you gonna do with your life? As though like I'm only living my life to be someone's wife or to be someone's mother. And I feel like a lot of women have that mentality of like, who am I without this man? Who am I without this child? And I just realized like how fortunate I am to grow up in a family that it isn't really like that. Like, the women in my family are very, very independent, and they are very much individuals. And so I, of course, have grown up to be extremely independent and extremely an individual. And not really, like, even though I see like even my mom, my aunts, my cousins, of course, they respect and prioritize their romantic relationships, their husbands, their kids, all of that, but they're like whole women outside of that. They have their own careers, and they have their own things that they're trying to accomplish. And with or without kids, with or without a husband, they are still doing things with their lives. And so I just wanted to make this video about like kind of dispelling that idea that like women need to be with a man or need to have kids in order to like have a meaningful life. And when my friend said that to me, it made me sad, because I'm like, well, I mean, girl, like, you can't control whether or not you get married. I mean, you can sign a paper at any point and marry anybody, so I guess you can kind of control that. You can't really control when you have kids. Like, no matter what you do when it comes to children, like there's nothing, I guess you could adopt, that's you controlling. But even if you apply to adopt, they could deny you. So like literally there's only so many things that aren't in your control, and one of them being is you. and the things that you choose to give life to, and the things that you choose to participate in, and putting all your energy to be focused on something that is outside of your control is just, it sucks. And then also, like, forget about it being outside of your control. The idea that, like, you're putting all of this energy into a man or into children or into this this idea of a white picket fence, because it's not going to be perfect. Being a wife is hard. Like I feel like we as a society don't talk about how serious marriage is, how serious being a wife is, how serious being a mother is. Like, it's very serious. And I feel like, especially like in America, people feel like, oh, like you can just go get divorced like this. And like, in a sense you can, but like, the whole point of marriage is to sit up there and not get divorced. The whole point of marriage is to build an entire life with someone, and that is a very big commitment, because the person that you marry is not going to be the same person 10 years from now. Like, people change. Like, just think about like friendships, or even like you as an individual. Like, you've changed since, hopefully you've grown in the last few years, or a year, or 6 months, or whatever. So like, of course you're going to continue to grow, and the spouse that you're with is going to continue to grow. And sometimes marriage can be really hard because maybe you're growing in two separate directions, and that's really hard to navigate. That's hard to navigate with friendships or even family, so much less so someone that you're supposed to be like doing all these things with. Like, you're growing in two separate directions, but you're still trying to raise your kid in one, and be like a united family friend. Like, it's just a lot of things, and we just all see the white picket fence with the wife and the husband and the 2.5 kids and the dog, and everyone's like, yes, that's what I want. But I also am glad to live in a generation, I feel like Gen Z millennials are kind of like dispelling that, and are kind of getting used to the idea that that is not for everybody, and that it's okay. I think that one of the most important things that you can do as a single person, or actually regardless of anything, regardless of your religion, sexual orientation, sexuality, marital status or lack thereof, like all of the gender, all of those things, is to be your own soulmate. Part of being your own soulmate is figuring out, what does a soulmate look like to you? What are the characteristics of somebody that you want to spend your life with, or a partner, or whatever? What does that look like? And how can you provide those same characteristics, or the same aesthetic, or not even aesthetic, because it's deeper than that. I want to say vibe, because no, I'm not going to say vibe. Same characteristics, I guess. I already said that, but you know what I mean. Like, how do you give that same energy to yourself? There we go, energy. How do you provide what you're looking for from someone else, but you give it to your, like, instead of looking for those things in someone else, how can you bring that to yourself? That is really a big part of being your own soulmate. I was reading this really dope blog post the other day, and it's from this woman who, I think her name is Iman Milner, I believe is her name. I will link the blog post down below in the description box. Highly recommend that you guys check it out. It was really good. I loved it. I love her, and so now I follow her on all the things, and she's great. Go check her out. But I was reading her blog post, and it was about how she was getting married. And then she was getting married, and then her fiance left her basically with like no notice, or very little notice. And so she was saying that the vows that she had written for him, like, she was talking about her process of getting over that and getting through it. And she said that the vows that she wrote for him is now something that she is like now a mantra that she gives to herself. And I just thought that was so awesome. And I think one of the mantras, one of the things that she said, this isn't verbatim, but it was along the lines of like, it was something along the lines of like, not receiving anything that doesn't serve me. I know that I'm very much paraphrasing, but it was like as though she was saying like she was grateful for for not getting something that she thought that she wanted. I'm gonna look it up. So I just looked up the quote, and it actually was, "Cheers to not losing anything that was ever supposed to be mine." And that really resonated with me, because no matter how you might feel about literally anything, if it's supposed to be yours, it will be yours. And there's nothing that you can do to stop, like, it's already yours. So like being stressed out about a husband or kids or anything outside of yourself, not to say that it's pointless, but it can be like just draining. And instead of doing that, you can put all of that energy into yourself, into knowing yourself and being with yourself. At the end of the day, it's just gonna be you. Like, you are the only, like, you came into this world just you, and you're gonna leave this world just you. And so you might as well really love the person that you are, and focus less on, you know, the future or the what may or may not exist. And also, when you know who you are able to not accept things from other people that are not deserving of you, or not accept things that are not for you. And you're able to navigate this world a lot easier, knowing what you're willing to do and what you're willing to not do. I feel like all my videos, especially my Wine Wednesdays, end up with me talking about self-love. I don't know, maybe it's the wine or maybe it's just the truth of it, but like self-love literally changed everything for me. My life is not the same. I am not the same because of me realizing the self-love is a thing. It's a journey that I want to be on. And it's a process. It's never ending, but it is so worth it. It is so worth it. It's ridiculous how worth it is to take the time to really know yourself, to take the time to really love yourself. It really allows me to kind of not float through life, but it gives me a sense of ease and peace, knowing that I know who I am, I know what I'm about, and I know that what is for me is already mine. And so we're gonna do our little cheers. Cheers to not losing anything that was ever supposed to be yours. Cheers! Okay, that was a little cheesy, but that's just who I am, okay? We're cheesy over here, and cheese goes well with wine, period. I guess what I'm trying to say in all of the roundabout ways is I really just hope that if you're watching this, wherever you are right now in your life, whether you're at that point where you're thinking about who am I going to marry, or when am I gonna have kids, or will the right job find me, or will I find the right job, or like all of the things of the future, I guess I just really hope that you're kind to yourself, that you be for yourself what you would ever expect anyone else to be, that you show up for yourself in a way that really matters, that you take the time to get to know yourself, and once you know yourself, you know your purpose, and you won't ever feel like, well, not you won't ever feel, because you know you have good days and you have bad days, but you won't seek validation from these titles like being a wife or being a mother, which are fulfilling things, and there's literally nothing wrong with saying I want to be a wife and I want to be a mother. There's literally nothing wrong with that. What I'm saying is not just doing it for what you think that the validation that you think that you're gonna get from it, and that you have purpose with or without it, that you have purpose no matter what else is going on. You have purpose. There's a reason why you're on this earth. I think it's going to be so exciting to see that unfold. I guess I'll wrap this up and say to my friend that I love dearly, who asked me, what am I going to do if I'm not a mother or a wife? My answer is, I'm going to change the world. All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this Wine Wednesday. I really had a lot of fun with this one. I honestly didn't know what I was going to talk about or where this was going to go, but I felt good about it. If you really liked this type of energy, this is literally my blog. Okay, it's www.paradoxicaljoy.com. It's literally linked down below in the description box. Like, this energy is literally my entire blog. Go and check it out. Go and check out my Instagram, which is also Paradoxical Joy. And make sure that you subscribe. You've literally gotten to this point. You might as well subscribe. Like this video, comment down below what your thoughts about being your own soulmate is. If I kind of made sense, I think I might do another follow-up video going more in depth with it, because I think that I kind of veered away from what I thought I was going to talk about, which is totally fine. Where Wine Wednesdays are open to the influence of the wine, okay? We're all good here. But comment down below if you like this video. Comment down below any suggestions for any other videos or topics that you would like me to do. And thank you guys so much for watching again, and I will catch you guys in the next video.